No, sir. I think there can be a win-win in this situation. I think the Baltimore Ravens should franchise tag Lamar Jackson as long as possible. And Lamar Jackson should want to be franchise tagged by the Baltimore Ravens as long as possible. I want to see this game of chicken play out because it will likely work out to the benefit of both parties.
Oh, chicken, huh?
If the Baltimore Ravens franchise tag Lamar Jackson, what they are doing is making the wise business decision. Okay, play through your 5 years of your rookie contract. Tag, you're it. Tag, you're it. We now have seen you for 7 years, Lamar Jackson. If in the first 7 years of your career with Baltimore, Lamar, you cannot bring us a Super Bowl, you likely never will. That's from the Ravens' vantage point. Only Peyton Manning and John Elway, mind you, both of those players drafted prior to 2000, only Peyton Manning and John Elway have won a Super Bowl with the team they drafted them after 7 years being there.
Deep stats.
Very simply put, Lamar, if you can't win a Super Bowl in the first 7, statistically speaking and practically speaking, it's probably not going to happen. So it behooves the Ravens, tag Lamar Jackson twice. Don't give him a long-term deal. Okay, Lamar Jackson, play that game with them. The longer you wait to get paid, the more you get paid.
Who told you that?
So if I'm Lamar Jackson, tag me, please. Give me the top 5 of average salaries amongst quarterbacks for 2 consecutive years. Because come that 3rd year, I'm going to hit y'all over the head. And now instead of making $50 million a year like the likes of Aaron Rodgers, I'm coming for about $60 million a year in 2025. So the Ravens should not give Lamar Jackson a long-term deal, and Lamar Jackson should not want a long-term deal. The Ravens should tag Lamar Jackson for the next 2 years because I want to see if you can't give us a Super Bowl in 7 years, you probably ain't going to be able to give us one. And Lamar Jackson should want to be tagged because I want to put off a long-term contract as long as possible and bet on myself.
I love that. That was a perfect take, actually. You borrowed a few of my nuggets.
I did.
You did?
I brought 2 of them.
Okay. My name on
you
that
got
sheet?
an 8-piece, though. All I needed was 2
8-piece? That's the first thing I want to say. I was supposed to get to my take, but I'm not. With a black quarterback, you say it's a game of chicken. If it was a white quarterback, I'm just asking, would it? Oh, no, too much on the line or past the line? Okay, whatever. I used to love freeze tag growing up. Tag, you're it. Because I was so fast, I get everybody frozen like this in the backyard. I used to run around. Oh, Lamar Jackson, my dog. You know damn well you deserve and will get a fully guaranteed contract. Sorry, Ravens. Sorry, Mr. Bisciotti. He out there at them owners' meetings leaking. He can't even enjoy himself around all the other 31 billionaires without thinking about Lamar Jackson. And they're not even talking about Lamar Jackson. They talking about Deshaun Watson. And boy, are they being deceived. Deshaun Watson got $230 million. And some are like, well, let's be real. I mean, the guy has the 2nd highest career passer rating in NFL history and the highest completion percentage in NFL history in a league that Drew Brees played in. If you number 1 over Drew Brees in completing the football, damn, you're doing something special. So some owners are sitting there over the cocktails, the bourbons, what old people drink, gin and tonics. And they over there like, hey, Deshaun deserves it. What are you talking about, Steve? And Steve like, but it ain't about Deshaun. It's about Lamar, because Lamar is better than Deshaun. I saw your eyes right there. Lamar is better in accolade and achievement than Deshaun Watson right there. Okay. But this is what's so funny. I wish there was a minority owner named Marcellus Wiley sitting there, the 33rd owner. I ain't got the money, but I'm here for it. I got the jokes and I got the knowledge, B. I'm sitting there. I'm like, hey, y'all. First of all, let me get a double. And let me tell y'all this. Y'all talking about the wrong thing. What you mean, Marcellus? Come on in here, but I'll give you $1 billion. Come on in here, talk to me. I was like, y'all mad at Deshaun when y'all should be mad at Kirk Cousins, because he's the one that started this gangster stuff. Woo! I wish I could curse. If you look at who has fully guaranteed contracts in the NFL, oh, that's a short list. You know who's on that list? Deshaun Watson and 2018 Kirk Cousins. That's it. I love in life when somebody puts too much attention on the wrong thing because I'm counterintuitive. Some people say, no, Marcellus, you're actually just a contrarian. Whatever you want to call me, I'm going to look at it different. If all the sheep are going one way, I'm saying, what's wrong? We're going the other way. Let's figure this out. Kirk Cousins is the one that started this wave that Deshaun Watson caught, being a better surfer, was able to get and maximize a $230 million contract on. But Kirk Cousins got a fully guaranteed at 84. So if you're David Mulugeta and you have a client by the name of Deshaun Watson, despite having 22 civil lawsuits, despite having the FBI on his head, despite not even playing last year, he like, dog, he's so much better than Kirk Cousins, at least in potential, in actual production, that you gotta give him this amount of money. Steve Bisciotti maybe had a couple too many, because now he's just starting to get in his feelings talking about what he knows he has to pay, which is that tax, because you got a player better than Kirk Cousins and better than Deshaun Watson.
Statistically.
What do you mean? What else is there? Oh, there's another version of being better?
Yeah, obviously. Impact. There's impact and there's statistics. There's a difference.
Playoff, they both got the same playoff wins.
I digress.
Unanimous MVP.
Here's the issue, Sal. Here's the issue that Lamar Jackson's going to run into. If you're the Ravens, I don't mind giving Lamar Jackson a fully guaranteed 2-year deal. I don't mind giving Lamar Jackson a fully guaranteed 3-year deal. Kirk Cousins' deal, yeah, but it really is pretty bad in hindsight, right? In current day. Kirk Cousins, 3-year deal, $84 million, roughly $28 million per year. It's got to get it twisted. Deshaun Watson's, what was it, 5?
Yeah, but that was when Jimmy G was getting 27, 28.
Correct.
So 28
correct.
per year.
That number is a big number. But if you Lamar, and if you're the Ravens, I'm looking at Lamar like this. Big dog, I'm not committing to you for 5 to 7 years. Why would I do that? Lamar, statistically speaking, if you want to come to me with statistics, then I'll come back to you with statistics, Lamar. Fallen bird, full screen. If you want to come with me with statistics, Lamar,
some more chicken,
then I'm going to come back to you with statistics, Lamar. 36 touchdowns and 26 touchdowns and 16 touchdowns. 6 interceptions and 9 interceptions and 13 interceptions. Lamar, don't come to me with statistics. If I'm the Baltimore Ravens, that is what I'm saying. I'm not going to give Lamar a long-term deal. And if I'm Lamar Jackson, I don't necessarily want that long-term deal. So here is what you are, I think, the mark that you're running a risk of. You're not missing. You're cognizant of it. You just don't care about the thing you're cognizant of. The thing you're missing is Lamar Jackson is playing with fire. You was a pyro. That's probably why you don't mind. Lamar Jackson is playing with fire. He is banking on the fact that he will not get hurt, or he is banking on the fact that he will regress back to his former self. So he can't go to the contract table with 16 touchdowns and 13 picks. He can't even really go to the contract table with 26 touchdowns and 9 picks. Keep in mind, from a passing perspective, Carson Wentz had 27 touchdowns and I believe 7 interceptions this year, and they discarded him like hot trash. So Lamar Jackson can really only go to the contract table with that beast 36 touchdown, 6 interception caliber of season.
That's it?
If he were to come to the contract table with any other season besides that one, he's not going to see a $230 million deal, fully guaranteed, nor should the Ravens give him one. So if I'm looking at it, if I'm Lamar, tag me. Give me the top 5 paid at my position. Because realistically speaking, and you've given me your top 5, Lamar Jackson's not in your top 5 quarterbacks.
No, he's not,
and
that's okay.
And he's not in my top 5 quarterbacks right now. So if Lamar Jackson can get the average of the top 5 of the quarterback position, and he's not top 5 right now, that's a win for Lamar Jackson. So if I'm Lamar, I don't even want to get a long-term deal. And if I'm the Ravens, Lamar Jackson hasn't earned a long-term deal only because he hasn't given us long-term deal greatness. He gave us a unanimous MVP season that goes crazy. Vassell, if we look at 16 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, plus being injured, we just can't overlook that.
Man, you gave me so much ammunition here. Let's start here. Let me just relax into this one. I'm going to walk down and get them all. I ain't running down to get one. Every player has to run the risk of getting injured when they bet on themselves. Every single player. You know it. We've been through it. Number 2, I hope Lamar Jackson regresses to his former self because the first year as a full-time starter, that was that 36-6 unanimous.
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay, so you said you better not regress to your former self.
I said I hope he does.
You hope he does?
I'm with you.
Okay,
I'm with you.
Okay, let's go. Who are we talking about anyway? We talking about Lamar Jackson versus the Baltimore Ravens, correct? They're in court right now. Okay. Baltimore Ravens, please stand. Swear. Tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, lie on the Bible, just basically say, I do. Why they do that? They need to let that one go. If we can't say the Pledge of Allegiance in school no more, we don't need to be lying on the Bible anymore. All right, anyway, Ravens, are you guilty of missing the playoffs 4 of the 5 seasons before Lamar Jackson was on your team?
I am, Your Honor.
Really? Oh, you telling the truth? Oh, grab that Bible. Hold on to it. Did you miss the playoffs 3 straight years before Lamar Jackson was on?
I did, Your Honor.
Okay. Is it true that you guys didn't win the division since 2012 before Lamar led you to the divisional crown in 2018? I got my lawyer voice on. Yeah.
That is true, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah. Well, wow. Where my gavel at? I'm about to slam this. Ravens, did Lamar Jackson win 10-plus games for you in 3 straight years before injury?
That is true, Your Honor.
And did you also not win 10 straight games in a season, 10 games in a season for the 5 seasons before Lamar Jackson? Yeah?
That is also true.
Oh, wow. I know it sounds boring because it's court, but guess what? You're guilty. Guilty of being wrong against Lamar Jackson if you don't pay this man. And guess what? I am going to fine you in penalty $300+ million fully guaranteed because not only are you looking at this man like he's not who he is, but you put us all through this process and drawing this out. You forgot that Lamar Jackson has the NFL record for wins for any player, quarterbacks, under the age of 25. Is that Lamar Jackson? Absolutely. You show me statistics. You show me full screens of a fallen bird. Well, let me show you how this bird will continue to soar. You know he was on pace to have a career high in passing yards per game last year before injury.
Yes,
so that means the opponents didn't stop him. What stopped him stops every player. Injuries. Lamar, 9th in passing yards per attempt last season compared to a career average of 7.5. He was throwing the ball deeper, longer, and better last year. 4th quarter comebacks. He only had 2 in his career before last year. He had 4 in 1 season alone, and that was a shortened season. Don't mess with Lamar Jackson, dog. Like, there's a lot of people you want to play with, and you should have played with Kirk Cousins if you were going to play this game. Don't hate the player, Lamar. Hate the game. And Kirk Cousins reminded these owners there is a fully guaranteed contract game to play. So don't get mad at Lamar for winning it.
So in 2009, however, the NFL completely changed its stance on what you're talking about. In 2009, NFL went from paying players based upon what they've done to paying players based upon what we think they're going to do. 2009, the NFL changed that CBA. Rookies like Sam Bradford came into the league making $75 million. He got paid based upon what he did in college. University of Oklahoma, Heisman winner.
Beast.
But then there came a time where NFL owners said, wait a second, wait a minute.
Hold up.
Why are we paying y'all based on what we've done? It's time to pay y'all based upon what we think you are going to do. Kirk Cousins got paid, both in Minnesota and beyond, based on what we thought he was going to do. Remember, Kirk Cousins hit a couple Pro Bowls, but beyond hitting a couple Pro Bowls like Lamar Jackson has done, Kirk Cousins was throwing for 4,800 yards roughly every season in Washington. So he got paid based upon what we thought he was going to do. Lamar Jackson deserves a fully guaranteed contract based upon what he has done. Period. He deserves a fully guaranteed contract based upon what he's done. But the NFL no longer pays you based upon what you've done. They pay you based upon what we think you're going to do. Aaron Rodgers, the Packers were out on Rodgers after they saw 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 25 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. We're like, you know what? We don't think he's going to do anything else. But then back-to-back MVPs, whoo, he still got MVP juice in him, $151 million. Deshaun Watson, 22 civil lawsuits still out. But what do we think Deshaun Watson's capable of doing going forward? $230 million guaranteed. It's not about what you've done that gets you paid in the NFL. It's about what we think you're going to do. So if the Baltimore Ravens are looking at Lamar Jackson, heck yeah, he deserves a fully guaranteed contract based on what he's done. But if I'm going to start to look at based on what I think he's going to do, I'm worried as a Raven. Because I look at Robert Griffin, who got injured, and his peak of his career was year 1 when he went to the wild card game. I look at Mike Vick, one of the greatest generational electric talents at the quarterback position. But year 4 was the peak of his team's success, conference championship game. I look at Cam Newton, phenomenal Cam Newton, league MVP like Lamar Jackson. And year 5 was the pinnacle of his success, both physically as it pertained to his own health and collectively as it pertained to the Carolina Panthers organization. So if I'm paying Lamar Jackson based upon what he's done, give him a fully guaranteed contract right here, right now. He has earned it. But in the NFL, you get paid based upon what we believe you are going to do. And if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I'm looking at Lamar like, Vic, Cam, Robert, they all had their peaks 5 years and before. Forget Vic, Cam, Robert. Brady, by his second season, he won a Super Bowl. Roethlisberger, by his second season, he won a Super Bowl.
I like it.
Eli, by his fourth season, he won a Super Bowl. Rodgers, by his sixth season, he won a Super Bowl. Flacco, by his fifth season, he won a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, kind of. Carson Wentz, second season. Nick Foles, he dipped but came back to Philly, sixth season. Patrick Mahomes, his third season. So what I know is this. I can look at Cam Newton, Mike Vick, Robert Griffin. By their fifth season, they peaked. Or disregard them. I can look at some of the greats of this generation, and by their sixth season, they had already won a Super Bowl. I'm going to keep Lamar Jackson for the first 5. Then I'm going to tag him, and I'm going to tag him. That's going to take me through 7. If I ain't seen it by 7, I'm probably not going to see it here. He might go ball elsewhere, and I'm sure he will because he's a baller. But I'm just probably not going to see it here in Baltimore.
You said Vic, Cam Newton.
Yes, sir.
Who's the other one?
Robert Griffin, sir.
RG3. Oh, wow. Sample size there. Interesting. And that's to your point, I guess. Let's cross the color line, shall we? But let's first, let me extend a hand over to the color line and give you Randall Cunningham, running quarterback, MVP candidate for multiple years.
Yes, sir.
Had a long career. Now, can you come over on my side? Steve Young, anybody? John Elway, anybody? Yeah. You give me the examples of why I should be scared, and I'm giving you the examples of why you should dare to bet on someone who's already given you everything you know. I don't want to base any conversation on football, which is a meritocracy, which is let these pads talk, let these cleats speak, based on what you guess versus what you already know. Do you know how hard it is? Let's build this up. You know how hard it is to make it to the NFL? That's why when people try to take shots at me, I try to laugh it off, but in reality, it doesn't land anywhere. I go by high schools and parks every single day and see cats out there practicing, knowing that .0000000, I could bore y'all with some more zeros. 1% of them is going to make it. So even if you're the sorriest dude in league history, no shots taken, brother, because I made it. Now, from there, you made it. You're on a 53-man roster. Are you going to get some playing time? You're on a 53-man roster. You get playing time. Now, are you going to be a starter? Are you going to make an impact? Dare I say, will you be a Pro Bowler? Dare I say, will you be an all-pro? Dare I say, will you be a franchise player / potential Hall of Famer? Lamar Jackson is already check. He's already put himself in every one of those conversations and accomplishment. Meritocracy. So it's not based on what y'all think's going to happen, because every time I hear Mike Vick, I start thinking of Steve Young. You start talking about Cam, I start thinking about Elway. I'm looking at it like this. Lamar Jackson deserves his money because Carson Wentz got his. Jared Goff got his. Deshaun Watson, who we talking about, got his fully guaranteed. Win-loss, who you think leads out of those 4 players? Lamar Jackson. Okay, total touchdowns, who you think leads out of all those 4 players? Lamar Jackson. Tied with Deshaun Watson. Interceptions, who's thrown the fewest of those 4 players? Lamar Jackson. Second in passer rating and third in completion percentage. And these are the money dudes. That is of his status, of his level, of his tenure in the league. I don't see an argument, man. I just think, like you said, your best point to me was like, well, damned if you don't, damned if you do. If you pay me now, I'm going to get paid. If you pay me later, I'm going to get paid. So what do you want to do? But fully guaranteed, on the record, would you say yes or no?
No, I wouldn't do it. I'd tag him. Let me get all I can get out of him for that first 7 years. Because I think at least where you agree is, by 7 years, I'm going to know what I need to know about Lamar Jackson. You agree with me on that point?
Get the Bible back out. You're lying.